Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to Biosciences with Shatreen Sawati. And today I'm here with Mendel law of independent assortment. Yes, I'm going to discuss the Mendel law of independent assortment. This is my third lecture from inheritance series, and I have discussed in detail the basic concept of the law of segregation as well as the basic concept of the genetic inheritance in my previous lectures. So must watch my first two lecture about the genetic inheritance or Mendelian inheritance. This is my third lecture. So I'm going to discuss here the law of independent assortment. First of all, I will give you the statement of the law of independent assortment, and I want to clear upon you that the law of independent assortment follow the dihybrid crosses. Must keep it in your mind. I have given you the concept of the monohybrid and dihybrid, so must watch my lecture about the monohybrid and dihybrid. I have given you the basic concept as well as the example and explanation of the monohybrid and dihybrid crosses in my previous lecture. So Mendel law of independent assortment states that the alleles of two different genes, as I have told you that the law of independent assortment follow the dihybrid cross. So dihybrid cross means two contrasting characters. So two different genes, alleles of the two different genes get separated into gametes independently of one another. Is it clear? So during gamete formation, what will happen? Two different genes for the two different characters, and the alleles of two different genes get sorted into gametes independently. In other words, the allele a gamete receive for one gene does not influence the allele received for another gene. Is it clear? Okay. The dihybrid cross is used as a method to determine or prove the law of independent assortment, as it proves that two characters segregate independently of one another. However, it only works, must keep it in your mind, in the case of the genes that are not linked. I have discussed in the gene linkage in detail in my previous lecture. This lecture is from genetic series, so must watch the lecture about the gene linkage. So this dihybrid cross or law of independent assortment only work in the case of the genes that are not linked and are present on different chromosomes. As you know that the genes present on the same chromosome are linked and present on different are not linked. Is it clear? Okay. A dihybrid cross is a type of the genetic cross between two individuals with either homozygous or heterozygous genotypes of two characters or traits. As you can see here, the two contrasting character, seed shape and the seed color. Seed shape is rounded and yellow, and this is pure breeding, round yellow, and this pure breeding green wrinkle. So the cross between the two contrasting characters is the dihybrid cross, and Mendel law of independent assortment follow this dihybrid cross. Okay. Now here I'm going to explain with the example of the dihybrid cross, the law of independent assortment. An example of the dihybrid cross is the cross between a homozygous pea plant with round yellow, as I have shown you, and the wrinkled green seed. The round yellow seeds are represented by capital R and capital Y, as I have shown you here. The round yellow is represented by the capital R, capital Y, and the green wrinkle is represented by the small r, small y. Is it clear? And both are phenotypically pure breeding yellow and round and green and wrinkle, but genotypically they are homozygous. Means all the alleles are same, homozygous. Is it clear? They are homozygous. Homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive. Okay. Now, the round yellow seeds are represented by this, and the wrinkled green represented by that, small r, small y. The gametes formed from these alleles are capital R and capital Y, smaller and small y, as I have shown you here. The law of independent assortment, here just shown you that round and yellow and green and wrinkle, when crossed with each other, first they produce the gametes. Gametes from this are capital R, capital Y, and the gametes from the pure breeded wrinkle, green wrinkle, this is small r and small y. Okay, now I am going to explain this chart. This shows that this is the first parental generation, round and yellow and green and wrinkled. First parental generation involving two parents, one with the round and yellow seed and other with the green and pure breeding green and wrinkled seeded plant. So this is the phenotype, and the genotype is homozygous. They are homozygous, have same alleles. Like this is homozygous, this is homozygous. Capital Y, capital R, small y, small r. They are homozygous, and phenotypically they are, this is green wrinkle and this is round and yellow. Is it clear? When they cross, the first step is the gamete formation. You can see here the gamete produced by the round and yellow YR, and the gamete produced by the green wrinkle is small y, small r. Is it clear? So when the fertilization occur between these gametes, what will happen? The F1 generation is produced, means the first generation produced from these two true breeding plants will be what? This is the heterozygous. But heterozygous, this is genotypically heterozygous, but phenotypically it is round and yellow. This is like this parent. Is it clear? Round and yellow. Because round and yellow seed color is dominant over the green and wrinkle. So the F1 generation is round yellow, but this is heterozygous. Is it clear? So the green and wrinkle, white is heterozygous, white is homozygous. I have discussed in detail in my previous lecture. So must watch that lecture and clear your concept about the homozygous and heterozygous dominant and recessiveness. Okay. Now what will happen? Now F1 is self-crossed to get F2. Now F1, round and yellow with heterozygous. This is heterozygous, round and yellow. This is this is F1. So F1 is self-crossed to get F2 parents. So F2 generation. So F1 when self-crossed, they become what? Second parental generation. Now the second parental generation involved the round and yellow phenotypically, but genotypically they are heterozygous. So 4 types of gametes are produced from this, like capital R, capital Y, one gamete. Now this Y, capital Y, small r, second gamete. Is it clear? Now small y, capital R, third one, small y, small r, fourth. So 4 types of gametes will be produced from this heterozygous second parental generation. Is it clear? So what will happen? How the gametes produce? You multiply this Y with this R, then this Y with this R. You can get 2. Now this Y with this R and this Y with this. So what will happen? 4 types of gametes produce here. Okay. Now F2, in order to get the F2, these four types of, so same gametes produce here. Is it clear? So that's why I did not write it here again. So you take these gametes and suppose this is these are the male gametes and these are the female, and now you can cross all these 4 types of the gametes with each other to get the F2 generation. Now what will happen? Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Now what will happen? So first cross, the capital R, same is the case here. Is it clear? Same. So capital R, capital Y, when crossed with the capital R, capital Y, you can get the capital R, and capital Y, capital Y. Is it clear? Second case, same. Capital R, capital Y, small r, small y. Is it clear? So this is the homozygous, round and yellow. This is heterozygous, round. Homozygous for round color, round shape, and the heterozygous for the yellow color, because this is the combination of homozygous and heterozygous. Now same, capital R, small r, capital Y, small capital Y. So here yellow homozygous but round heterozygous. Is it clear? Similarly same here, capital R, capital Y. So capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. So both round shape and the yellow color heterozygous. individual, but round and yellow. So same is the case here. Now multiply this with this, or cross, simply we can say that the cross this with this, cross this with this with this. Now you can cross all these and you will get at the end 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 round and yellow. Now green and round. How many green and round? 1 2 3 green and round. 9 must keep it in your. These 9 are round and yellow. Phenotypically round and yellow, but genotypically they are different. Some are homozygous, some are heterozygous. Is it clear? Now 1 2 3 round and green. 3 round and green. This is new combination produced in F2 generation. Round and green. The 3 are wrinkled and yellow. This is also the new combination. And just one is the homozygous recessive green and wrinkle. So 9 round and yellow, 3 green and round, and 1 2 3 yellow and wrinkle. These are these 3 and these 3 is the new combination. Is it clear? And these are the round and yellow. 9 round and yellow, 3 green and round, 3 wrinkled and yellow, and just one is the green and wrinkled. So the ratio, phenotypic ratio, is out of how many offspring produced in the F2 generation? Count this. 1 2 3 4. So 4 means they are 16. Is it clear? They are 16, total 16. You count this. These are 16. Out of 16, 9 are round and yellow. You count from here. 3 are green and round. 3 are yellow and wrinkled, and 1 is green and wrinkled. Is it clear? So the phenotypic ratio is 9 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. Is it clear? 9 round yellow, 3 green round, 3 yellow wrinkle, and 1 just green and wrinkle. So you can see here now the 4 alleles can combine in 4 different combinations, as I have shown you there. The capital R, Y, and that. The 4 different alleles are assorted randomly to produce 4 types of the gametes. The gametes unite at random during fertilization to produce the 16 types of the individual in the F2 generation. Is it clear? 16 individuals, and out of the 16 individual, 9 are round and yellow, as I have shown you, 3 round and green, 3 wrinkled and yellow, and 1 wrinkled and green. Is it clear? So the F2 generation ratio, phenotypic ratio, is 9 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. Phenotypic ratio is 9 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. Is it clear? And the genotypic ratio is different. 1 ratio 2 ratio 2 ratio 1. You can see here, this is the homozygous round and yellow. This is homozygous for round color but heterozygous for the yellow color. This is heterozygous for the round color, round shape, and the homozygous for the yellow color. This is heterozygous for the round shape and heterozygous for the yellow color. So the genotypic ratio is different, but the phenotypic ratio is 9 ratio 3 ratio 3 ratio 1. Is it clear? I hope so. The lecture will be clear upon you people. If you still have a question, write in the comment box. I will be back. Thank you very much. Till then, Allah Hafiz.